So I've been playing Celeste now for over 3 months, and I get totally addicted. We all need to touch grass, or climb the mountain. No, don't do the second thing. Anyway, that's not the case in this video. Today, I want to share you with my journey to beat the hardest level in the vanilla game, DASHLESS. So, a day before I started 100%ing Celeste, my friend told me that I need to be on one specific list. And I was like, yeah, what is this? And he said, yeah, it's Feral Golden Collector's list and you should be there cause you're good at video games and I know you can get it. Yeah, he didn't say that. But he still told me that I have to beat Feral DASHLESS. And at that time I was like, is it cool Celeste DASHLESS? And he told me that I will see soon. And I saw soon. Even after 200 plus deaths, I still proceeded to willingly make a decision to beat Feral Golden. And when I was playing Feral for the first time, I already knew that I'm doing this. But I wasn't that crazy to do that as my first golden, so I've decided to golden every other level in Celeste, so I can prepare myself for a much harder challenge. I'm a simple man. I like doing things in a chronological order, so I began with A sides. Is it a good idea? Soon it will be found out. Anyway, the first 2 levels, 1A and 2A, were stupidly easy and I could do them without even practicing. Also, I could first try 1A if I weren't going so fast, but we don't have to talk about it. 3A was the first level to actually stall me. Before this, on my first playthrough, I didn't really think that chapter 3 was bad. It changed after goldening. I hate cycles. I freaking hate them. I was grinding most of the day and still was dying to those motherfuckers. I felt pretty bad playing this level. I felt like I could do it, but I still couldn't do it for some reason. I went to sleep and tried winning 3AG another day. And then this happened. Yes! 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 Still, I got it pretty fast, but for some reason I thought I could get this faster. Next in order was 4A. I can't really complain about this level though, cause I didn't have much problems with it, and I did it really fast. About 5A I got a feeling that it would be pretty hard, but it turned out to be easier than I thought, and I also did it pretty fast. 6A was super fun, I really enjoyed battle line fight, and just the whole level. I got minor problems with the feathers, but after some attempts I did that. Also back then, bumpers weren't pissing me off. And 7A, one of the hardest golems in base game for most of the players, of course without including Farewell. It's not very hard, it's pretty easy, but long. The level literally lasts for 14 minutes, so it's the first level that I practiced a lot, and I mean really a lot. My biggest choke points were 1.5 km and 500 meter. Why? 1.5 km is just cycles. Easy answer. But why the heck 500 meter? That were stupid mistakes. If you are doing goldens, you know what I mean. I grinded this golden for 1 whole week. After many failed attempts, I decided to practice much more the last checkpoint of 7A because it was another one I died the most to. And only after these practice runs, I finally managed to do this. Yes! In 8A, here's a similar case to chapter 3. After goldening core, I started to dislike this chapter much more. Still, core is super short, especially with this skip, so I did it also in 2 days. And now with the core being done, we got every A side golden. It is time for C sides. So why C sides and not B sides if I wanted to do this in chronological order? It's because A sides already weren't that easy for me. I wanted to chill out for some time. C sides are the easiest golems out there. They have only 3 rooms with only maximum advanced green gameplay, so it's not bad. It was easy at that point that I even got every C side golden in 1 day. I even managed to do 7 CG on my second try and struggled with A CG a little more. Let's be real, C sides are super easy to golden. B sides, harder than A sides, and still harder than C sides because they're longer. Anyway, here still nothing changes, because 1B and 2B are still super easy goldens. There's nothing much to talk about them. 3B though again caused me some problems, and those are cycles. Cycles again. When I see them, I just have super will to die. That's why I failed so many 3BG attempts. Anyway, I pretty much fluked the rooftop checkpoint and I got this golden eventually. 3B was super fun and super easy, and I got it on the very same day as the 3BG. I also really enjoyed 5BG. I was super scared of dying to the cassette room because it was pretty inconsistent for me, but luckily I also fluked this level and beat it on the very first day of attempting it. But now there's time when the things are about to change. It is time for 6BG, 7BG and 8BG, known as Hell Trio. Why Hell Trio? Because it's 3 levels, like obviously name says, that are very hard and they have pretty much the same difficulty. I began with 6B, and when I started my first practice run, me back then didn't know that it would bring me the most pain, sadness and satisfaction from beating this. It felt hard, super hard, but I was optimistic and I thought I'll accomplish this after time, but not a very long time. Well, I was wrong. This B-side took me the most time of every golden I've beaten so far. Why this was so hard? 7BG even took me less. Anyway, I spent a lot of time practicing, and when I finally felt confident enough, I started doing real attempts. The only problem was that I wasn't really often getting past the first checkpoint. This was the time when I started hating bumpers and feeling that feathers are so inconsistent. Whenever I got past the first checkpoint, I was constantly dying to the second one, which was the easiest one for me. I was grinding and grinding. Sometimes I got to the battle line stage, but it was only for a couple of times. Finally though, I managed to get into the last checkpoint, get really far, and I died to second last room because oh my god, it felt so inconsistent. But I also managed to get this run.
One hour later.
Yes, I died to cassette room. I freaking did that. But okay, it's fine. I'll get there soon again. That's true. I really got there again. I died to it 2 times. And if you thought I died to it only 2 times and after that I finally beat that, you're wrong. After those attempts, I died to 6B cassette room 2 more times. I was so pissed off. 4 deaths in the last room and 3 at least in the second last room. After this, I got a total fall. I was playing worse and worse. And only after a couple of hours, I got to the cassette room again. Yes! 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 It took me something like 30 hours. 7BG, B-side of the summit. When I started playing this B-side, I was super glad that I can finally practice and grind another level. But this one was way more fun than 6B. And here again, the biggest choke point was 1.5 km. Haha, what a surprise. And I also used to die a lot of times at the last checkpoint because of the nerfs. I hate it. I'm playing way worse with nerfs and it's horrible. Flag 13 was also terrible for me, but only because I was doing it the wrong way. Like, what is this even? Anyway, I got this golden in 4 or 5 days, so it was pretty fast for me. That was one of my favorite goldens. And 8BG. 8BG is the easiest one from Hell Trio. It looks like that. First checkpoint, easy. Second checkpoint, 3 or 4 rooms that are hard. Third checkpoint, easy. But you've got the nerves from the second checkpoint. So according to this, the most deaths I had was in the second checkpoint. And then I got a couple more in the third one. I managed to do this golden in 2 days, so not bad. And now with all of those levels golden, we have 200 berries now. To get 202, we need to do 2 more things. If you didn't know, 1A dashless is possible. I don't know why I'm explaining this. If you're watching this video, you've probably played enough Celeste to know that. Why am I doing this after Hull Trio? Because I've heard from people on Celeste Discord that this is super fun and pretty easy, so I decided to leave it for later so I can chill out after grinding. And yeah, every single room was fun to me, besides one, cause I didn't get how to do this consistently at that time, but hey, I've learned new techs. That was a nice experience. Here's the winged golden berry, and we have 201 berries now. And now we can do something that we've all been waiting for, the thing that was my main goal for the entire video. Firstly, I couldn't believe I'm on Farewell Golden already. I was fully aware of how hard this will be, and I knew that it will take me months. And to make this challenge even harder, I decided to collect all of the keys from the power source and still proceed to do the key skip, so I could keep all the 5 keys. And that would make my attempts even longer and more painful. 5 keys kept though weren't enough for me. I wanted to collect Moonberry too, so I was attempting a run known as All Collectibles run. I started practicing. My first practice run took me 2 hours. It's not bad, but it's fine. I needed to break it into segments. I told myself that I would never start attempting real runs if I won't beat every single checkpoint deathless. That's what I focus on the most. The hardest checkpoints to get deathless obviously were Event Horizon and Determination. Those two are known as the toughest checkpoints in the entire run. First one includes a lot of wave dashes and wall bounces, while the other checkpoint also contains those two mentioned things, but here also come up cycles, feathers, and wind. I focused the most on practicing those checkpoints to the point that I was super consistent at them, and I was glad because they are hard and I'm really good at them. After some time spent practicing, attempting deathless runs, I've finally gotten every single checkpoint deathless. I felt really confident, so it was time to try goldening Farewell. And my first golden runs were terrible. I was dying to singular. Also, I was still learning this skip in power source, so I often messed it up. And this skip was still hard to me. I was super dumb because I was doing this jump, so it was a harder strat. Luckily, I've changed it, but many hours later. Anyway, always when I got to remember, I was super stressed and I was barely making it to the Event Horizon. And when I made it, I got so nervous that I needed to stop for 2 minutes, and that was the worst thing I could do, cause it nerfed me so bad. I was dying to tutorial rooms a lot of times. So the first couple of hours I spent on the runs like this. Sometimes I managed to get farther, but I still died to Event Horizon. At that time I realized that I'm 100 times worse when I'm stressed. Finally, after hours of grinding, I managed to get my new PB, which was this room on Determination. I got halfway through and died to the feather because it was inconsistent for me. I wasn't mad. I was glad because I finally got a new PB, and after that I sometimes get to Determination, sometimes not, but the thing is that I was handling nerves better. I remembered I wasn't stressed at all and my nerves started to appear only after getting to the Event Horizon. Unfortunately, I really struggled with tutorial rooms and they were my biggest choke points. I decided to change my strat for them to make them less harder. Instead of using spring in the first tutorial room, I was wave dashing from the bigger platform and then wall bouncing because this was giving me better height and I could easier do wall bounce. For the next tutorial room, I was doing here extended hyper, so I don't have to do this tight timing. And after that, I was getting better and better runs. And I even made it for the very first time to stubbornness. I got past ST2 and I died to one of the most free rooms of all stubbornness. And then for a long time, I couldn't make it again to this checkpoint. I was playing like a total shit, but not for long. I finally got in another stubbornness run and I died again. I was again super pissed off and I went to bed to get some sleep. When I woke up another morning, I didn't know that this day is going to be a big day. I played some runs, died a lot of times, but when I got to stubbornness, I made it and I reached reconciliation. I felt so confident and scared at the same time. Even with that feeling, I got really far. And this happened. Yeah. Yeah, I died to this room because I dashed too early. I wasn't mad. I was happy. That was my first reconciliation run and I've looked so much. I was 10 rooms before the ending. That was a huge progress. After this run, I felt so confident. I was like, okay, this is the day. This is my day and today I'm beating this. And you know what? I actually was getting really far on most of my attempts. For some reason, I was dying really often to stubbornness. Probably it was because my overconfidence, but I don't really know. I just ran a second at this checkpoint. Also, I managed to finally get past this and I reached once again reconciliation. I was stressed. I was shaking until this happened. I got you again. Yeah, that's exactly what you've seen. I died to this room because I accidentally boosted myself from fish. Still, I wasn't that mad because I accepted it and I was still really certain that I'll beat it today. Unfortunately, that was the end of my skill that day. I got to the stubbornness another couple of times to just die super dumb and I was slowly losing my skill. From stubbornness to determination to event horizon to even power source and singular. I thought that I needed to take a break, so yeah, for another several hours I wasn't using my PC that day. In the evening though, I tried again. I launched Celeste and began attempting Farewell Golden. And if you thought that this break helped me, you're wrong. I was playing way worse than earlier, so after this temporary grind, I went to bed. And on Monday, the next day, I was thinking that maybe my skill loss yesterday was caused by tiredness, and I tried again. I tried being refreshed, being again confident about me getting to recon, but the thing is that I still sucked for some reason. And it was not only for this one specific day, it was for the entire week. I was playing, dying, playing again and dying again. And I fell for this cycle. I don't want to play this anymore. I have enough of this grind, but I made it to Reconciliation 13. If I don't beat it, I'll be blaming myself for not completing this challenge, especially because I got that far. During this whole week, I was practicing again, changing my strats, like one for this room where I discovered that I can use jelly and make it safer. I learned easier strat for the last determination room, practiced stubbornness more times and improved my previous strats. And at the end of the week, I finally gotten really far. To stubbornness. I made it even past stubbornness and I was again at recon, even more stressed than for the first time.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
That's right, I died to the same room as before for the same reason. This time, I was mad. I was super mad that I needed to stand up and go away from the PC to calm down. My third recon run, my only that huge run in the entire week, and I messed it up. After this run, I didn't get better. Like I said earlier, I fell into cycle. Now I was getting only worse, and worse. Farewell Golden was consuming me. That's also why there was on the channel that big gap of no videos. I was grinding Farewell Golden, unsuccessful. Also, I was playing on a controller, and I started to question, is it good for me? Wouldn't it be better to just switch to the keyboard? It was a PS5 controller, and I got the feeling that the D-pad of this one isn't that good. It made me make a lot of mistakes, which was causing a lot of my deaths. That's why I thought of switching to the keyboard. But that would also mean learning the game from scratch and learning the muscle memory for Farewell once again. Anyway, I was so desperate and I decided to risk it. I thought it's worth it. I created a new save file and beat the entire game on keyboard. After that, I tried some Farewell runs, but they were nothing more than just bad gameplay. I decided to take a break from Farewell. I wasn't grinding this for something like 10 days. I was casually beating this map on keyboard to gradually build my muscle memory back, but it was only one run per day. For that whole time, I was playing Strawberry Jam, because that was the thing I wanted to do after Farewell. I beat the beginner lobby, intermediate lobby, half of the advanced lobby, and all of the gyms before I got back to Farewell. It really made me better at the keyboard. And on Friday, I decided to do every checkpoint deathless again. I did a couple of them that day and finished the rest on Saturday. Also, on Saturday, I decided to get back to the grind. I've downloaded two mods, Consistency Tracker and Golden QOL. I set up both of these with help from Paradise's video. Anyway, it took some time switching to keyboard, but it was totally worth it. I was making significantly less mistakes and I was getting real far. During the day, I was playing really casually. On that day, in total, I got only 19 golden runs. And in the evening, I was talking with my friend. It was my 19th run. And I told him, yeah, that's my last attempt for today. When I die, I'm going to sleep. And yeah, I died. But I told him, okay, one more. Nie wierzę w to! Nie wierzę w to! Co tu się k***a stało? Yes, I did it! I did it! All collectibles golden farewell run done! I was so surprised. It was on the first day of my farewell golden grind after break. I was super scared that I would die again to recon, especially on the last screen and even on the golden room. But I did it! 202 berries! Oh my god, I was so shaken after completing this. It is by far the hardest thing I have done in my entire gaming history. Also, I wanted to thank everyone that was supporting me with this crazy challenge. My friend who gave me the idea for this and was currently watching my gameplay on Discord, and my other friend who was watching a lot of my farewell golden streams. Like, no kidding. I think I've played 100 hours on farewell and he watched many of it. Also, it's the same friend who I was talking with when I collected the golden on farewell. And also, I wanted to thank you for watching this video. It's the most important video that I have done by far. If you'd like to see my full raw run, I linked it in the description. And unfortunately, it's without audio, because I recorded this clip with every track muted, because before this run, I was making the other video to my channel. Also, I think that my journey proves that if you set yourself a goal and you really want to accomplish it, you are able to do that and you will make it no matter what. And if you want to see more of my content, you can click here to see my ranking of every cassette in Celeste. And yeah, this video was done during my farewell golden grind. Bye!